Hi again, Anthony McAvaney here from the Thought Connect group. Part 5, two aspects to look at here: how to actually create products for online consumption and distribution, and second, what are the tools and resources that you're likely to need to get yourself and your products online. So first of all, we'll look at creating your digital products. And the first one is actually really quite simple, and what I'm doing with this particular product is using PowerPoint. So do you use PowerPoint to deliver any of your content? And you may or may not know about this, but you have the ability to actually click and record. Now you'll see mix there, the term mix. Now that's an old plugin for PowerPoint. It's no longer available. But on the newer versions of Slideshow, if you see where I've got the arrow, you can actually record your slideshow, and then once completed, you can then convert that to an MP4 video, which can be uploaded either to YouTube or to Google Plus or other video hosting platforms. So that's the first thing, is to think about your any content that you deliver by PowerPoint, and it's a really simple, easy to use method of putting together digital content. Just something that you need to be aware of, and which I needed to take into consideration, was the length of that this overall 6-part series would be a 1 hour plus presentation, which would be difficult to record in one hit. Although using this method of recording, you can stop and pause and those sorts of things. But you've also got to think about your audience in terms of consumption, and simply breaking something down into component parts makes it much easier for your audience to actually digest. So yeah, options for delivering your product online. If you use PowerPoint, just simply click on Slideshow and create your videos. There are other tools that you can use. Something called iSpring Free Suite is an alternative tool, has a few extra features, and there's also a paid version of that which has a lot of other sort of benefits. But for me, the slideshow record and create is by far the simplest and most effective option for converting your PowerPoints into digital content. Other options that you have for delivering your product online. A really popular form of digital content, of course, is an ebook. And there are a number of ways of doing that. If you already have Word documents and those sorts of things, you can actually compile those into a PDF. If you have an existing website and you are blogging, there are ways of turning blogs which are following a particular thread into a collection of blog articles that fit nicely into an ebook format. Repurposing is a big thing with digital content. So any blog article could potentially be the content for a short post or a number of informational videos to YouTube. So once you've actually thought about content and you've put it down in some sort of written form, often it's reasonably easy to begin to speak to that content in video format. I'm not sure if you're aware, but today there are more people that view content on YouTube than watch live free-to-air TV. There's a massive audience on YouTube, and using search engine optimization by designing your informational videos around keywords that you know that your potential customers are looking for, you can begin to attract an audience to YouTube. There are lots of things that you can do with YouTube apart from just delivering content. That once you have a certain number of views, adverts can potentially also be displayed on your YouTube videos, where other people will pay you to put their adverts on YouTube. Anyone who's looked at YouTube videos will have seen those ads at the beginning of some content that you wanted to watch. Well, the advertiser pays to put it there, and if it's on your if it's on your YouTube video, you get paid for it. So it's just another way of generating some extra income. Other ways to do that, live streaming on Facebook. I did at one stage when I first started interacting online, a 90-day challenge where I did a Facebook live page for literally for 90 days. That had a couple of benefits. It got me over my fear of talking to a camera. I just simply used my my smartphone to do that. But other sort of live streaming, you can offer webinars. You can do podcasts, which are obviously voiceovers. So all of this content here that you're seeing, Facebook Live webinar, YouTube videos, are easily consumable items in the online world. Other things that are really popular with people that you can offer, things, and this relates to our ability as consultants to deliver how-to stuff, it could be checklists. You know, we talked before about lead magnets and those sorts of things. Checklists are a great way to introduce people to your content, and the quality of your checklist is a very subtle way of developing some credibility, because the things on your checklist illustrate you know your stuff. Similarly, case studies where maybe you've helped clients in the past, reports that you've prepared, maybe even a quiz or a survey. There's lots of clever little things that you can do. Or simply create or use other how-to content that you have. That might be blueprints. It could be something that helps people with regular policies or procedures that they're required to implement. It could be training manuals, literally on any subject that is a part of your suite of products. They're just some of the ideas. There's no shortage of ways to get your content online. Again, it's a matter of time. Have you got the time? Have you got the expertise to do it? But it's your content. So this is stuff that you will know. And again, coming back to your customer, you know, have you thought carefully about who your client is and what it is they're looking for, and pick one of these as a way of putting your toe in the water. On to some of the tools and resources that you're going to need. It took me a while, a lot of trial and error really, to figure out what I actually needed to do this. So this list is not necessarily comprehensive, but these are some of the things that you're potentially going to need. So if you don't have a website, you're going to have to first of all register a domain name, and then also a website. There are lots of different providers out there. I've tried a number of them. The domain name and website host I'm using is something called SiteGround, as in site, S-I-T-E, ground, all one word. Look it up, have a look at their costings, but I found their support is terrific. You could, once you have a domain name and a website, you don't necessarily have to create anything too elaborate. It could be a simple landing and a thank you page. Wix is a tool that you'll often see advertised on YouTube. Commonly used. It's a pretty simple form of website, but at least it gives you an online presence. If you don't want to go down the website route, there's the option of a Facebook business page. Now, all you need to create a Facebook business page basically is a Facebook account, a personal account, and then from that personal account, you actually then create a business page. So it's got nothing to do with your personal account and friends that you have and those sorts of things. You actually create a business page. And there's lots of self-help associated with that, but that alone can be quite an effective platform to write content, to present videos, to host videos, and ultimately to market to. Other platforms where you can reach your audience, Messenger, obviously in an abbreviated format, Instagram, again, similar. LinkedIn is becoming increasingly popular as a way to reach audiences. It is, however, extremely expensive to advertise on LinkedIn. I found some time ago a very, very useful resource for LinkedIn. If you do a search for the influencer or the boardroom on Facebook, the influencer project and the boardroom, and then apply to join. They've got a fabulous 100-odd page ebook talking about how to implement a strategy on LinkedIn to attract a customer base. Twitter is another. I haven't done much with Twitter. I just don't think Twitter offers enough space, if you like, to develop any sort of credibility. Yeah, it's not for me, but other people do use it effectively. What else? Other tools that you'll need. I think regardless of whether you've got a website or a Facebook page, you're going to need access to images. And to buy images on the internet is exceptionally expensive. You can pay anywhere from like $10 to $50 for high quality images. So the sites that I've put there, if you do a search for them, Pexels, Pixabay, and Unsplash all provide free high definition images, which you can use to add some oomph to your content. Images are quite important in the online space. Canva is a graphic design tool where you also have access to some free images. There's a free version of Canva. It is a terrific little tool which will enable you to design lots and lots of graphic designs, create the top of your pre-formatted top of your Facebook page, or even a header for your web page. PowerPoint we've talked about. You'd probably need to be using Microsoft 365 or something similar to get access to it. You will more than likely want to edit the various images that you might download from Pexels or Pixabay or Unsplash. Something that you need to be conscious of when working with images is that you'll need to compress or make the images smaller, because large images take a long time to load. And in fact, some platforms will have file size restrictions. So Paint.net is a free image editor. There are different versions of Paint, but look for Paint.net. And again, that's a pretty intuitive tool. There's lots of help on YouTube, and do a Google search on how to use different functions of Paint, and you'll be ready to go pretty quickly. A video camera, perhaps, but as I've said before, the quality of video on today's smartphones, whether it be an iPhone or whether you're using something like an Android like Samsung, it's terrific quality. So there's no need necessarily to go out and get a DSLR camera. I would recommend that you get yourself a tripod so that any camera work you do, the camera is steady. You can pick up a good cheap tripod on eBay. I think I bought one for about 20 bucks maybe. Similarly, a microphone. The quality of sound is important. So get yourself a lapel microphone. Again, look at some of the offerings on eBay. I got one, just a lavalier mic, which sort of plugs into your collar or sort of in the chest area there. It's got an extension cord on it, plugs straight into your phone. Again, it was less than $20 from memory. The quality of light is also important. So again, just do some searching on Google about lighting options. I ended up buying some lights, again from eBay, together with some background screens. The whole package costs less than $100, but the lighting is terrific. But if you're doing live to camera or recorded camera, where you're in the picture, you need good lighting, because the quality of your image does impact on your audience. Video editing, when you're doing video content, is something that you'll need to do. There's a free version if you've got an iPhone. It's called iMovie. I've used both Mov AVI, which is quite a much cheaper option, or Camtasia. The current offering I think is around $240 or $250, but I found Mov AVI does the job nicely. Yeah, so again, shop around there. You don't necessarily need to jump straight into this sort of stuff, but there are some potentially upfront costs. So we're sort of moving from like the free PowerPoint stuff through to some more sophisticated. So different people who are looking at this will be at different stages in that journey. Something that I use with great effect is an animated video creator called Powtoon, where the process is that you record a script, you record a message. Typically, you'll want your content to be 5 to 7 to 10 minute little productions. So developing a series of sessions, perhaps around a how-to topic. But the access to the tools, again, it's very intuitive to learn. From memory, Powtoon is about $170 United States dollars annually, so that means it's probably a bit over $200. If you're, again, working with video, you need to be thinking about how to deliver that. Now, YouTube is really quite common, and there are advantages in having it up on YouTube. There's also other video hosts. Vimeo is another one that I've used in my work. Tools to create content, webinar tools. You can do Skype stuff, and you can record from Skype. Google Hangouts is a free one. Again, you can connect up, invite people to a video conference and record it. Facebook Live, I've already mentioned, and Zoom is a common webinar tool, and there are both free and paid versions for that. So if you're into webinars, all of those tools that I've listed there are viable options. And if you don't necessarily want to put yourself on video, but you're happy to share your voice and want to do podcasts, there's a terrific little tool that I discovered recently called Anchor.fm. So maybe do a little bit of research into that. All right, so there's quite a bit of content in that one about how to actually create your digital products and the sorts of tools and resources. So in our next component, let's just tie that all together. So bye for now. We'll see you on the next session.